Welcome to our next in the series of picks and ponderings video previews that takes a look at the Breeders' Cup program. I'm Paul Mazur alongside Nicolle Neulist. You can find her on Twitter at Roclon. You can find me on Twitter at HeyLaserbeam. We're the Picks and Ponderings team at Picks Ponderings on Twitter. For this preview, we're going to look at the Breeders' Cup Sprint. It's a bit of an intriguing race this year because you get a horse that could be an absolute freak. You get a horse and you get a very reliable one-turn horse, and you get a lot of other options here. Many people are looking at this as run happy and private zone, but I'm interested to see what you think, Nicolle, of the Breeders' Cup Sprint on a quick 3/4 of a mile on the Keeneland dirt.
Oh, I agree that Run Happy and Private Zone are the horses everyone's talking about, and I, like everyone else, I'm really excited to see that showdown. That said, there's no shortage of speed in this race, and when it comes to horses that I want to play, I'm really looking at horses who can come in from off the pace, because Private Zone is fast, Masochistic is fast, Run Happy is fast and can overcome blown starts. He may well be a bona fide freak, and he's the only speed horse that I haven't completely tossed out of the picture. That said, he's also going to be very well supported at the windows, so if I want to bet Happy, I'm going to go with a horse coming from off the pace. And so my play in this race is Kobe's Back. Kobe's Back, yeah, he doesn't break all that well out of the gate, but he doesn't really have to. He's one who drops back and makes one big run at the end. He does have a win over the Keeneland course. It was at 7 in the Commonwealth, but he's shown he can dial back to 6. Last out, he finished just a neck shy of Wild Dude going 6. And even though Wild Dude is another one who's going to be on my tickets, Kobe's Back is going to be a longer price, and he has that win over at Keeneland. So my play, because I think he's going to be closing in like a freight train late into a very fast pace, is Kobe's Back.
We both agree on that handicapping axiom of pace makes the race. There's just one problem with Kobe's Back: his gate behavior. Every time you turn on a race where Kobe's Back starting, he blows the start. He's not Run Happy where he can blow the start in a downpour and still zoom up the inside. Kobe's Back makes sense if you believe the pace meltdown theory, but I'm going to go. But while I agree that's going to happen with the presence of a Masochistic, with the presence of a Private Zone, with the presence of a Run Happy, I'm going to take a horse who was closing last time in the Grade 3 Phoenix, the local prep for this race, and a horse who also has some sneaky Keeneland form, and that's the number 11, Barbados. As a 3-year-old, he's going to get a couple pounds for a weight allowance. But keep in mind, Barbados was closing like he was shot out of a cannon in that sloppy Phoenix. He also graduated in his third career start, granted also over a wet track at Keeneland as well. So you've got 2 Keeneland starts, and they're both on the podium. They were on wet tracks, but that's not a concern considering he hit the podium in the carryback. He hit the podium in the Amsterdam. Throw out that turf race in Minnesota, the Mystic Lake Derby, because we're not on turf and we're not going 2 turns. This is a 1-turn race, and Barbados brings in some quality 1-turn form while getting the setup from a whole bunch of others at the front that I'm not going to name because I've already named them all. 20-1 on the morning line for this Michael Tomlinson trainee who gets a very favorable outside post pace scenario and could be flying and could get all the dough in the BC Sprint.
Yeah, I definitely can't talk you off of Barbados as a play. He's legit for the reasons you list. As far as a pass for me, there's plenty of speed in this race, but I'm going to single out Masochistic as my pass because, Run Happy's a speed, but, he's shown time and time again that he can break poorly, run through, find a way. He showed the Phoenix that he can do that against good horses. Private Zone, yeah, he's a speed, but he's shown just enough of an ability to, maybe be half a length off, press a bit, contest a bit, that, he's not as conclusive of a toss. Am I going to use him? No. But can I understand some faith in him? Yeah. Masochistic, you'd be loco to think that this horse from Los Pollos Hermanos is going to win the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Yeah, he's fast out in California, but his 6 furlong form is questionable. He's better at 6.5 or 7 when there's nobody else who's gonna contest him and wire it. Going 6 against this sort of speed when he's the one way of the one way in this field, I don't want any part of Masochistic here.
Yeah, I'm with you, Nicole. You'd be masochistic to use Masochistic in the BC Sprint. But I'm going to go to a different, and I agree with you that that's a toss. I'm going to go to a different angle and just go to a horse that's plain old not good enough. And that's the 4, Limousine Liberal. Limousine Liberal came on the scene from the supposed wonderland of sprinters, Ellis Park in Western Kentucky. Supposedly it's the Wonderland place because that's where Run Happy was training over the summer. But Limousine Liberal ran an okay second in the King's Bishop, chasing Run Happy all the way around. He goes into the Gallant Bob last time out, a grade 3 on the Pennsylvania Derby undercard, and he basically chases around Trouble Kid. I think that the Gallant Bob, which was run on a day that had a radioactive Parks rail, kind of showed that Limousine Liberal doesn't have much of a passing gear. If you watch the tape on him, Trouble Kid is all the way out in front, in about the 2 path. Limousine Liberal is in the 3 to 4 path and can't make up ground. No pass, no gas. Limousine Liberal, to me, Limousine Liberal, he may have peaked in the King's Bishop, but I think he's gonna. I don't think I want anything to do with this Ellis Park sprinter in the Breeders' Cup Sprint.
So just to recap, my play in the Breeders' Cup Sprint is the number 2, Kobe's Back, who has the win at Keeneland and is going to be flying late. My pass in the Breeders' Cup Sprint is the number 9, Masochistic, who has Speed Casualty written all over him.
My play in the Breeders' Cup Sprint is the number 11, Barbados. If you're thinking Pace Meltdown, you might be thinking Pace Meltdown, and that's okay. But I like someone that's got good gait behavior and has done it over the track before. My pass horse is Limousine Liberal, who may have shown a touch of hang or a lack of passing gear when chasing around Trouble Kid in the last race at Parks.
Thank you very much for watching our latest Picks and Ponderings video preview, and good luck in the Breeders' Cup.